Isn't it crazy how you can just instantly get like thrown into TikTok and just spend crazy amount of hours in it?
Isn't that what we literally just did?
That's literally what we just did before this. Anyways, cue the intro. Hello guys, T.L.B.P Brothers podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
We're back at it again with another not vlog, and we apologize for last week. Well, more like
This week
for no vlog because it was supposed to be storming and a whole bunch of other stuff, and then it didn't, so we didn't make any plans, and we're like, well, that is not nice.
There was no vlog.
Yeah, the world literally yeeted us.
It's not that the world needed us. It's just we had we weather and stuff, and I still haven't bought the shelf for the camera to be like out in the rain type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I should probably do, and then it won't matter if it's raining or shining or thundering or whatever. We can just move on from there. But I think I mean we said we'd do it if it was within our capability.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had time, and that's the thing. Like we've missed the React Monday as well.
Yeah.
It's
But we're gonna don't worry, those things are still gonna be coming out.
Yeah, they'll be coming out, and if we miss a week or something, I'll just throw in some B-roll from, because the thing is like I'm always constantly filming.
Yeah.
The thing is like sometimes it's just not enough to be a vlog. Like the other day, I shot us driving in this really scenic area.
Yeah.
And I think it's only like 30 seconds of time-lapse footage. Like I'm not going to upload 30. I mean, maybe I should do that to the TikTok, but like 30 seconds of footage isn't going to do much. Like I need like a lot, right? I need a lot more.
Yeah.
Also, the amount of like trimming that goes on, like half of the footage, more than half. Sometimes you'll end up using a core. You'll get like 3 hours of footage, and then like 15 minutes of those 3 hours is what ends up being.
All right. It sounds like you're just ranting now.
No, I know, but it is okay. So, we haven't watched this week's episode of Obi-Wan.
Yes, we have.
But we have caught up to before
up.
this week.
Yeah.
It should end next week, actually.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about it till the following week.
Sad time. We watched the first episode of Ms.Marvel.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, second episode came out. We still haven't watched that.
Yeah, still haven't watched that.
But it's gotten good.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Obi-Wan though, I kind of like how, like, I mean, the fact that like they're willing to do certain things with Obi-Wan that is like, I feel like it's I actually like I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Considering that like it's based off the prequels and the prequels didn't do so good.
I mean, like they've done a really good job of like keeping the audience engaged.
Right, yeah, that too. Like I think it's and like I like the way that they tease the Force.
Oh yeah.
Like they use it sparingly. Like it's not like a one fix all. Like it's only in a crucial moment where it could possibly be of use, right? And that's the thing, right? Because like if you really think about the Jedi, I kind of like OP.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're definitely OP.
They're definitely
right? Unless
OP.
they're fighting like another, force wielding person, right? So it's like it's just one of those things where you have to like play like the balancing act, especially when there's like stormtroopers or like a bunch of droids around, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see that all play out. Also, thing with Ms.Marvel.
Yes.
Okay, so I actually enjoyed the first episode more than I thought I would. Also, like, because you always hear about these sorts of, I don't know, like, I guess it depends, like, where you live and where you are, and if you're surrounded by other ethnicities.
Oh yeah.
Because these are like some of the topics that they hit on is like how like especially children of immigrants, they feel like this immense amount of pressure to like fall in line with like the family culture, the family responsibility, the family this, the family that. Like it's all very family oriented, and you have to like uphold like a certain level of status and education.
Oh yeah.
That is like sometimes it's overwhelming to like
I mean, especially with those types of immigrants that worked hard to be here to support, to like give their family the best that they possibly could.
Right. Yeah.
So they're always, not that they're enforcing, but they're always like trying to engage their children into doing something that will be successful.
Right, yeah, and I think that that's also like a testament to all of that, right? You often find that in those families, right? It's very challenging for the kid or the son or daughter or whoever, right?
Yeah.
To kind of be themselves, or they get lost in their identity.
Oh yeah.
They don't know who they are. Like
Oh, yeah.
we've talked about this maybe in Ignatium on the podcast, where we struggle with that sometimes too. We're like, at home we're very Latin, very
Very Latino.
yeah, and then like
And
we
then
walk outside and I'm Canadian.
And then I walk outside. No, I wouldn't say like
I mean, like certain aspects, like like okay, for example, when you greet somebody,
yeah.
if they're Latino, you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna hug them.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole thing. But if
that
it's
just depends. That varies with every person.
but no, but that's a culture thing, right?
Kind of.
Like depending on who you're with is how you're gonna greet them. Like this one time, I caught myself slipping because I saw someone. I was working at this office and someone came in and I knew her. Like so, there's also that like I knew her.
Yeah.
So like I get up and I hug her and everybody else is looking at me like, dude, that's a client. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh right, conflict. And then like everyone started to look at me like, okay, that makes sense.
Okay,
They're like,
I'll take over.
And then this other lady walked over. It's like, I'll take care of it. I'm like, okay, great. I can't help you. Sorry, you're on your own. Bye.
Yeah.
But it was like one of those things where you often like have to navigate, like the culture aspect of it, right? Because there's always, I mean, in this country, there's so much culture.
Oh yeah.
There's so much like I don't think
Canada.
I don't think people understand what multiculturalism actually means. Like there is so much culture. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Like and some public schools do like multicultural nights.
Oh yeah.
And
Like
because it's just so
our
much.
middle school.
Yeah.
They had events like that where they do like potlucks,
Right.
like cultural potlucks where like families would bring in like their most like famous like dish from like their
Right, yeah.
country, and then we'd get to like try a whole bunch of foods we'd never normally get to try.
Right, yeah.
But because of events like that,
Right.
we've been pre-exposed.
So
to,
like,
many
but
variations.
because of this, like, it also like plays off like the whole other side of it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when you're hanging out with like that specific ethnic group,
Yeah.
you know how to eat their food and you know how to eat it properly too.
Yeah.
And they're looking at you like you're some freak of nature. Like, dude, I thought you were Latino.
Yeah.
And I go like, what is it, shawarma? I'm like wrapping it up and everything.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you? And then I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, how do you? And then I'm like, I don't live under a rock, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a burrito, if I'm being honest. But like at the same time, like I'm just saying, man, I'm doing it better than you. Yo, you didn't put garlic sauce on that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, like it's one of those things where you play the balancing act. Also, like when I go out with like a Korean friend,
Oh yeah.
they're like, yo, careful with the kimchi. I'm like, why? And they're like, it's spicy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm Latino. And he's like, I'm just telling you. I'm like, dude, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at me like I'm some freak of nature, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, and then I'm like, also the fact like I pick up their chopsticks and I'm like, let's do this,
Yeah.
right? Like those.
I find it interesting though. Like like that like stereotype that if you're Asian, you
Right.
probably know how to use chopsticks.
Right, and then you
And then you go out and you eat, and then they're like, "Can I get a fork, please?"
and you're looking at them like, wait, what? You're using a fork?
Yeah, and then you're like, and then the waiter also asks if you'd like a fork.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah,
Nah, I'm okay.
Chopsticks.
Like, but I've also had like the other side where like I'll go out with a bunch of like my Asian friends.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of Asian friends. For those who don't know, I'll go out with my Asian friends and then and we'll go out to eat somewhere, and sometimes like depending on where we go, like sometimes I'll be the only non-Asian person in the entire room.
Oh yeah.
Like in an entire building.
Oh, yeah.
The establishment, I'm the only non-Asian, right?
Yep.
But then like off to the side, you'll see like some Filipinos,
Hmm.
and they'll be like, oh, there's another Filipino in the room, because I don't know why I get classified as Filipino when I'm around other Asians. But so anyway, so one of them will walk over and they'll just like take off
Mhm.
in like Tagalog or something like that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not Filipino.
Yeah.
And they turn and look at me like I'm the one who did something wrong.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, look, I'm just like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like I'm Latino. But you know how to use the chopsticks, and that Asian boy over there doesn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, I'm like, whoa, step back.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
you can't be calling out my friend like that. Like, I just, and it's always interesting, obviously, like, especially when it comes to stuff like that.
I mean, we're so culturally infused that
Right.
like some people who are from a specific ethnic background aren't raised in that like ethnic
In their ethnic background. And that also happens too.
in their ethnic group.
Right.
So they don't know things about their culture, or they've heard things about their culture, but it doesn't mean that they do it too.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's like for example us. this like we're Latino, obviously, right?
Right.
Like it's very known for Latinos to like their tequila. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you
But
said.
like we don't drink.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
we're a non-alcoholic family here.
Yeah. I love when other Latinos tell us you guys are a clean family,
Yeah.
and we're like, what does that even mean?
It's
Like,
what
does that mean y'all dirty? Like, what is?
That means you're sucio. No, disgusting. No.
It's like yeah, I know, but it's like it's one of those things. That's, no, you guys are a clean family. Like, what does that even mean, guys? Like,
that means you're all dirty.
no, but they're the ones calling us clean, right? So it's like, did you just? Is this like a reverse insult? Did you just compliment me but insult yourself? Like, what is this? I don't know how to navigate those conversations.
I just go, yeah, I know, I try.
And I'm like, yeah, you know,
really
just it's not that hard if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But that also attributes like some of the things that has happened due to alcoholism in our family.
Oh yeah.
Like so, like I mean, there's like also like a really deep rooted like base for that.
Oh yeah.
It's not just like, hey guys.
Also, like the whole like Day of the Dead stuff.
Right.
That too, like
that freaks me out.
I used to get people like at school being like, "Are you gonna celebrate Day of the Dead?" I'm like, "No."
And I'm like, nah, man. I know, man. That freaks me out, man. Like,
I'm kidding. It's kind of freaky.
I mean, like, if I'm being honest, like, a bunch of skeletons everywhere ain't exactly like how I call it
like,
good time.
I mean, like, you do you. If you want to do that,
I mean, yeah. I mean, also like the other thing too is like the Day of the Dead is like a very Mexican thing since we're Mexican, and a lot of Mexicans actually don't even celebrate it.
Oh yeah.
And then like they watch the movie Coco and then just assume all of Mexico celebrates it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Coco came out. I mean, like we do have the whole festival thing. And,
right. Of course, yeah. Like in the capital city. But other than that, like it's like you know, like the Day of the Dead is more like a remembrance of the people who have passed on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our Remembrance Day in like you know like in America or like you know D-Day in America or you know like it's one of those like where you go and you remember those who have passed. It's really it's more symbolic, and it's more like remembering the good things and the bad things and some of the things that like affect your
like sharing
society.
the meal that they loved or something like
right
that,
exactly
right? Getting together and like remembering that person
exactly yeah and that's what it's all about. But like Coco like just threw it out of the water.
Coco was like
it's a crazy party.
We do like this whole crazy shrine thing, you know.
I know. Like it was.
I mean, like they're correct in that aspect of like that small like
right
belief thing. I don't want to like throw any insults.
No, I know.
But like all that stuff, you know, that there's certain areas that do that,
right?
And then there's like a lot of Mexico doesn't really like do that as well.
Yeah,
it's like a mixed bag depending with who you are is whether or not they'll take it seriously or it's just a day of remembrance.
Right. It's also like mind you, this is a very native belief.
Oh yeah.
And most of Latin America is Catholic.
Oh yeah.
So like there's also like this conflict or like you know there's a very native rooted tradition that they did, right? And it's obviously like with all things, you know, some traditions.
Have you noticed that like now, like going back to the TikTok of how this whole started,
right.
Have you noticed how like on TikTok are you getting more like Latinos on your TikTok?
Just, like, yeah. Oh,
like randomly you'll just be scrolling and then like it's like a Spanish song. You're like, oh, what?
Oh, okay.
And,
well,
and no. But like that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But then since you stayed to watch,
you get more.
One.
Okay, so
all of a sudden you're like a bunch of Latinos are coming out of everywhere, and I'm like, oh wow, we have a whole community on TikTok.
Yeah, no. Okay, so here's the thing. So, I haven't found this on my personal TikTok, but I found this more like on the podcast TikTok. Yeah. Because sometimes like I'll be signed into the podcast TikTok and I won't realize it, and I'll just start scrolling, and then they'll be like, I think it's because of our title,
probably
the Latin part in the title,
maybe
probably like triggers like, oh, that person's probably Latino.
Yeah.
Throw all the.
It's
like how.
I mean, when you log on the browser, it asks us what language preference.
Right.
Like, what are you trying to say? Just trying to say I don't speak English?
Well, I mean...
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I speak both. So, like, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it's obviously very interesting to see this sort of stuff play out.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I think that as we... As like individuals...
Die? Your brain
fart? No, I was just trying to think of how to, like, word this properly.
Yeah.
How, like, we, as we grow older and mature in our... In our age, we
You calling me old?
No, I'm not. Just you know what I mean. We found the balance between the two.
Oh yeah,
right.
I've found balance between the four.
Between the what?
The four.
The four. Well, what four? Like the show, the four, like that dance. No, not the dance. The singing.
I've gotten balance between the French, the Mexican, the Salvadorian, and the Canadian.
The French.
Yeah, because we got Quebec. Like right over there.
Like they're right over there.
They're right over there.
I mean, like
You go too far near the bridge and you start hearing French.
I mean, sometimes, and I make this joke all the time, and not to say that it's wrong, but I mean, I make this joke all the time where I'm like, that's like a foreign land, because oftentimes like there are areas of Quebec where you feel like you're in a different place.
Oh yeah, go to
it doesn't,
go to Quebec City. Go to old
not
Quebec
Canada.
City.
I kid you not. I kid you not. That's not Canada.
Like go to old Quebec City and you'll see it feels like you're in Europe.
Yeah, you are not in Canada. Like it's so you feel like you're a tourist.
Oh yeah,
and like
I could take a photo in one of the streets and someone would be like, I bet you like if I used hashtag like Europe or like hashtag like an area in France or something like that,
right.
People would be like, oh, like I don't recognize the street. Where'd you take that photo? And this and this and that, and they would be French people asking.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, like it's crazy because there are obviously like you feel like a tourist in your own country.
Oh yeah,
which is like
especially with how big Canada is.
Right. I mean, like
you always like see those people being like, I'm going to Canada. Oh, cool. Which part? Or like where you have a friend, who like doesn't live in like Canada and stuff like that, and they live somewhere else. So like you met them through like a chat, or you met them through like gaming or something like that. Like I'm coming to Canada, and I'm like, great. Which part? And they're like British Columbia. I'm like, great. I'm in Ontario. Like, what do you want? That's like the complete other side. It's a cheaper flight to go to Morocco.
And then they go, do you know any good cafes? I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Do I know any good cafes?
But try at Timmy's though.
no, like this has happened before where like someone will like message you, be like, yo, do you know any good spots to like hit up? Yeah. Then I'll be like, dude, I don't know if you know this, but like I'm like 8 hours away in plane. Yeah. Like, let alone if I were to drive there. Like you're on, like we're talking the other end of my country. Yeah. And
I don't actually know how long it is to fly from here to British Columbia.
It's like 7.5 hours.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's easier to like fly to like Mexico Puebla.
Yeah, I know.
It's like almost 6 hours.
Yeah, I know. It's because it's a big country, bro.
I know. Like I flew over America.
Well, like I say 7.5 hours because like when you get there, you're bored and all that. Like
okay, but like
in the air, realistic, I think it's like 7 hours or like maybe a little less. Like it's almost 7 hours. Okay. I know that. But like realistically, like you need like 8 hours from like getting to the airport to like leaving the other airport.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So like it's a bit of a trip. But mind you, it's still the same country. It's still like it doesn't
absolutely
change.
The same country.
It's still the same country. Yeah. So like when people say like, "Yo, do you know anything on that side?" I go, I know it's there. Yeah. Like that's all I got. Like
that's all we got.
I don't know. I've never been, and I hope to go one day soon. Yeah. Maybe we'll vlog it. Who knows? But
honestly, I want to do like a whole road trip. You know what I mean?
Canada?
I want to go across Canada. Like I'd literally go to Quebec. Or go even further.
No, you know what? I'd go to Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Rent a car. Start driving.
And then get a boat.
no, there's a bridge. There's a bridge.
Yeah,
so like no, I mean like you actually could go to Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Get a car.
Yeah.
No, go to Halifax.
Yeah.
Get a car.
Yeah.
And then just start driving.
Yeah.
You know, and then that way, you know, you just cross the whole country. Yeah. And then on your way back, you hit up the northern ones too.
Yeah.
So like, say you drive the southern area. Yeah. Then on your way back, you hit up the north area. Yeah. And then that way you're like, I was in every province at one point in this trip, and I want y'all to know.
I mean, like, see, like the thing is, like, the problem with trying to do that, is like if you're in the province, you're gonna want to take a look at the rest of the province, right? Right. You're gonna show up. You're not just gonna show up at the capital and be like, I've seen the province. No, you're gonna show up at the capital and you're gonna be like, what are the little towns around it? Because like that is actually getting to know the province, right?
Right. Okay. So like for those who don't know, like we have done this extensively in Quebec.
Yeah.
Like we have seen a lot of Quebec, but there are little towns in Quebec.
Yeah.
Where like we'll stop at a little diner.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that's the experience.
See, and as soon as you walk in, everybody looking at you funny because like it's like such a small town where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And as soon as you walk in, like, we don't know you.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Exactly. Yeah,
and it's not even. It's
not even like a hostile. We don't know you. It's more like a friendly. I don't know
like,
you.
It's just like you're new around these parts, and we're
just passing by.
We're just passing by, and they're like, oh, cool. Like we have this diner here. You know, if you guys get hungrier or you guys like need a hotel, there's like a place down the road, and we're like okay, like they treat you so nice.
Right.
It is Canada. But like,
I mean, it is. Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
If they, especially like at diners. I
Right.
find that diners normally like if the diner owner is there, they'll start talking to you about the little town and they'll give you like little facts about it. Honestly, if you go to any town, anywhere, like whatever country you're in listening to this, if you go into a small like diner,
Family
family owned, secluded, they will tell you like facts about their town and you'll get like history out of it and you'll actually like learn something and it's kind of cool to like experience.
Right, yeah, and like also like we've done this in Ontario due to road trips.
Yeah.
Where we have run into like little towns that
Yeah.
I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And then later on I'll run into somebody I know they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm from this little town." I'm like, "I've been there."
Yeah.
Like, "Yeah, you know the little market?" They're like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, I passed by it one time." And they're like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "We bought some strawberries." And they're like, "You bought strawberries?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, we went crazy. We saw strawberries. Like, we bought some strawberries.
Yeah.
Like, that was literally what happened. It's one of those things where like it suddenly hits you and like people are like, "Wow, man."
Yeah.
Like, you've been places. And then I'm like, I know.
No, I really haven't actually.
It's like 5 hours out of Toronto. It's not that far.
yeah, I know. It's
Wait, real quick. We're going to take a short intermission right here.
Take a little short intermission.
Hey guys, sorry I'm interrupting this video. I'm here to tell you to follow both our Instagrams and the podcast Instagram. Bro, what do you think about that?
Yeah, man, I approve this message.
And we're back.
We're back. What were we talking about?
We were talking about how little towns in Ontario and Quebec and all that.
Oh yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
I mean, there's been a few spots, you know. Also,
yeah.
like when you're passing by and you tell people you're going in a specific direction,
Oh yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, don't take this highway because you'll hit traffic in like an hour. Take this other route," and you'll be
or like the weirdest thing, like there'll be like Animal Crossing here,
yeah,
and you'll be like at this hour, and they'll be like, yeah, it happens at that time. It's normally around when Frank, likes to bring out the animals.
and we're just like, who's Frank?
Who's Frank? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just take this road instead.
Yeah, it's like,
and we're like, okay.
like I guess. I mean, and it's also like,
but see, the funny thing is, it's like since we use Google Maps a lot,
right? Yeah,
like especially when you're outside, you need some form of map, right?
right. Yeah.
So like you're like, but Google says this is faster. It's like, no, trust me.
Yeah. And
it's it's the one thing Google can't compensate for. Animal like movie.
Well, yeah. Also, like it's because like most people like they own land.
Oh yeah.
And the road cuts right through their land.
Oh yeah.
And so they own both sides. So like if they have cattle, they have to move it from one side to the other side.
Yeah.
They have to like cross across the road.
And sometimes the roads aren't even paved. It's just like a bunch of gravel.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it is what it is, but
yeah,
you do what you can.
It's on Google Maps and it says it's fast.
I mean,
when in reality, it's lying to you.
All right. So we've gone to this beach.
Yeah.
Do you remember like that beach? Like it's not that far from here, but it's in Quebec. And once you turn in, like you turn off the road, eventually it turns into gravel, and it's like
I think
4 kilometers of just a gravel road.
It's a gravelly road.
It's just gravel road, and then suddenly it turns into pavement again.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's like they got tired.
You're at the beach, and it's just like, why? Why can't you just make this pavement? Like, what was the purpose of this? And then you get to the beach, and you're just like, wow, this is nice, but like.
Why
my
is there
car's
no
dented now. like what was the purpose of it's one of those things where also like when you go to like a little island,
oh yeah,
gravel road,
gravelly road, always
gravelly road. It's one of those things, but
it's like one of those things where like it's an island, we want to keep it as an island. We don't want to throw like our humanness on
no, they're like, we don't want to damage the natural ecosystem.
And I'm like, you threw gravel.
Just
what do you think pavement is?
It's just rock, man. It's just rock. But you have to play both sides, right?
Yeah.
Also, we live in a country that very much likes to protect its greenery.
Oh yeah, that's why most of the movies are filmed in British Columbia. We got the hills. We got the grass. We got the tall trees.
Right. No, I mean,
just look at the Twilight.
Need I say more?
Have you seen those trees?
But that's Phoenix. No, I'm kidding. One of those things is
stop lying.
They substituted it with Phoenix.
They also like most of the CW shows,
like all
of them, basically all of them. Where do you think they're filmed? All we gotta do is just grab an American flag,
hang it up,
throw it up there. Make sure it doesn't touch the floor.
It's really funny because like there are shows that are filmed in Toronto. Yeah. And like they'll have the American flag, and then like they'll cut the scene and then pan, and then you'll see a Canadian flag hanging in the background, or you'll see like a Canadian company in the background.
Funny thing, like I don't know if any of you have watched the show Suits. but it's a good show. We've been watching it recently.
Right.
But it's so funny because you start seeing BMO banks,
Right.
and
Yeah.
if, for those of you who don't know what that is, the bank is called the Bank of Montreal. Montreal's in Quebec, which is Canada.
Yeah.
So you're literally, the show takes place in New York, so they're literally having a conversation, and they're like, "Is that a BMO in the background?"
Yeah. Like it's just like it's really funny. Like, and I love seeing that because
So there's a scene where one of the like managing partners flies to Toronto
yeah.
because it's filmed in Toronto.
Yeah.
And like they show like the meetup in front of the CN Tower.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's they didn't fly.
That's like across the street,
It's like
man.
quite literally across the street from the building that they're using to film this.
Like it's really funny.
Yeah.
But I think that those are certain things that I mean, as a person who knows the area,
Oh yeah.
right? Like we're able to identify like these sorts of things. I mean, like people who are like from Quebec wouldn't even bat an eye. They'd be like,
I mean, if you've been in Toronto,
right?
because a lot of people in Canada have been in Toronto.
I mean, it's because it's like our New York.
Yeah, it is our New York. Depending where you are, it's like your. Actually, I don't even know.
It's like our New York.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I mean, it's because they have like sections of the way Toronto is as a city is very it's very
The Greater Toronto area is divided into sectors.
the GTA as they call it. It's it's an interesting place.
It's interesting because like they're like
They try to have their own.
They're like, yeah, I'm from Scarborough, and I'm like, okay, so Toronto.
It's like no, it's just they try to have their own culture in this like in this little area, and you're like,
Don't get me started on a Toronto man's accent. Oh my gosh,
you're already picking it up.
Oh my god,
not even there.
I'm not picking it up. Honestly, I'd rather have the stereotypical Canadian accent. Hey yo, bud, how you doing? I'd rather that than yo mans, you know. No, go home.
Go home.
Lock yourself up.
It's definitely
interesting. If you go to Toronto, okay, let me tell you to be prepared, okay,
for a lot of things.
For a lot of things. First off, need I remind you, this is Canada, so we will be nice to you. But like, even though the guy across the street sounds like he's threatening your life, he loves you.
But he still means you harm.
He still means you harm, but he loves you.
It's just
if you see a guy peeing on the side of the road, don't be surprised. It's normal.
He's probably drunk. Let's be real.
He's probably drunk. Not to say that Canada's like, because a lot of people like to portray Canada as like some kind of perfection, right? They're like, you guys don't have this, you guys don't have that, you guys got free healthcare, like you guys are so good, your gun laws are like amazing, and we're like, but have you been downtown?
Like, okay, look.
Not to say that our downtown sucks.
It's
because
just
our downtowns are amazing.
Our
They're
downtowns
beautiful.
are like a real downtown.
Oh yeah,
like it's like a. I mean, it's like any city that has a downtown. Like you know what I'm talking about when I say it's
we can
downtown.
take a picture pretty much anywhere in downtown and it'll look pretty.
Right. It's just like
and then you go around the corner, and not to say that the road is dirty or anything, but like it's kind of dirty.
I mean, it's also downtown.
I mean that too, right?
I mean, it's also been there for like over 100 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a lot of grime. You know, they don't wash that every year. They gotta.
Yeah. Not to mention that like we have a lot of like homeless shelters and stuff like that.
Right,
so we
in the core downtown areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tends to happen. But I think like as a society, we have tried our best. I think like the balancing act of like trying to keep it looking pretty and trying to help those in need. And obviously, it isn't exactly like it's not to say that like we're trying to push people out, but to a certain extent it kind of is. To make it look nicer and make it look nicer, but it's one of those things that it's very hard to compete because because downtown is nice, right?
Oh yeah,
but there's also like all the shady stuff also happens.
Oh yeah,
downtown.
Oh yeah,
so it's like
any downtown shady stuff happens.
Exactly.
Downtown.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like the balancing act of like, if you don't know, you won't see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're just visiting downtown like Toronto or like wherever you're gonna go, just visiting, you can almost never see the all the bad stuff. You're like, your mind's cluttered with, look at that pretty building, because you're not looking eye level, right? You're like looking up, you're like looking to the side, but you're not looking at what's in front of you. And
Right,
like,
yeah.
yes, maybe you'll see like one or two like homeless people, and you'll be like, yeah, that happens everywhere, right? Right. But what you're not seeing is that in that back alley, there's something going down.
That back alley.
But like, I promise you, in like 2 minutes, the police are already taking care of it.
Like it's one of those things where like and people don't believe this, like especially when I tell Americans, like Canadian police are like really nice people.
Oh yeah. But when it comes to doing their job, they're police.
Oh yeah. But like people look at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. Like I'm that guy who's like, yo, man, what up, man? High five. You know, it's like it's great, you know, and especially like when you're in the downtown area by Parliament.
Oh yeah.
People are always like, yo, man, that's crazy. Yeah. I'm like, you don't understand, man. Like even like the security people, like the actual Parliament security, they'll smile and wave at you if you smile and wave at them.
I know.
Like,
well, not unless they're like a Mountie or something.
Mounties don't do that.
Yeah,
but like the actual like security for the apart from the RCMP, the mounted police.
I've always wanted to like make a Mountie laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's like little clips of like people who try.
Yeah.
And they're serious. They're like nah.
They're like dead inside.
They're dead inside. They have no soul. Like you look into that guy's eyes, it's bland. There's nothing. He's got no savor.
What's crazy to me is like if anything goes wrong in a moment's notice.
Yeah.
They're at the ready.
They're at the ready. They're quite literally at the ready.
Yeah.
You're fooling around, but they're using the peripheral vision right now. They saw that guy get mugged. They just called it in while you were goofing off.
It's like a double tap on the wrist.
It's because like they stand like this or they stand straight, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they got like some kind of like signal thing like on the side of their thigh. All they gotta do is slightly tap it, and they're like, okay, I got it. Honestly,
on my 12
the security level in downtown
has gone up a lot.
And it's impressive seeing it, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
because they're still friendly.
Oh yeah,
they're right. They got guns, but like okay.
I mean,
they're still friendly.
I mean, it's the government. Like, what do you want?
I mean, like we gave them those.
I mean, it's their job to protect the people. Like, what do you want from me?
I mean, like.
It's also because like it's where legislation in this country happens, right? So like obviously it's like it's probably the core spot.
Yeah.
If there were ever to be an attack, that is where it would likely happen.
Oh yeah.
Like out of anywhere in the world, like out of anywhere in Canada, that's where it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
So when you say like they need security, they definitely need to. Like,
oh yeah.
Remember when we went to that one Canada Day where we had to walk through those metal detectors?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're walking through the metal detector.
Yeah.
And the lady next to me goes, okay, just drop everything you have like, out of your pockets. And I didn't even know I had stuff in my pockets. Like, certain things I didn't know. So I was like dropping things out. She's like, well, I put like an elastic band. I had like math in my bag. Like I had receipts. I had like, she's like, you've been busy. I'm like, this isn't from today. I'm like, I wore these like a week ago and then I put them on today.
Yeah.
I didn't know my pockets. So I pull out my wallet, pull out my phone, pull out my keys, pull out a pocket knife. She's like, what are your pockets bottomless? Like, what is? And then like, so I walk through, and the machine goes off, and she goes, you have something else? I'm like checking my sweater,
like there's no way I have anything else.
There's nowhere else.
I didn't get surgery.
Okay, so you know the little pocket on the right side, little pocket. Because I gave that big pocket, and then there's a little pocket.
Yeah.
Stick my hand in there.
The pocket watch. Yeah.
No, I stick my hand there, pull out a bunch of quarters.
And
then I put them down on the table, walk through. She's like, really? I'm like, I didn't even know those were there, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm going to go get an ice cap afterwards with that. And she just looks at me, she's like, okay. And then she's like, okay, grab all your stuff. So I literally go like this. And I just like, I had a bag on me too. And she like checked the bag and she's like, I'm like, it's just water. She's like, yeah, okay. So like, I grabbed the bag and I just slide everything into the bag. I'm like, I'm not going to buy it. Put this all back in my pockets. And then she's
I love going through like metal detectors and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on Canada Day.
Oh,
they're very thorough, but like very nonchalant that they're being very thorough with you.
Yeah, and they're cracking jokes.
They're like, empty your pockets.
And they're also judging you for what you have in your pockets. And they're cracking jokes about it. Like, seriously? Like, come on.
It's like, no, I remember this one guy. He was like carrying like protective product on him, you know, for like in the bedroom. Yeah. And the officer is like some not to like point out anything, but he's black. But just now you'd understand how like his accent was going. He was like, really, man? It's like, you're really gonna do it out here? It's like you're hoping to meet somebody out here, aren't you? And the guy's just like, I forgot that was there.
You know, right? That's the thing too. Like, cause like you're so used to like not getting checked.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then suddenly like they're like, "Can I check your pockets?" And you're like, "What's in my pockets?"
They're like I don't even know.
I don't even know what's in my pockets.
It's like there could be a lethal weapon.
No, yeah, no. So when I pull out the pocket knife, the lady looks at me and she goes, "Seriously?" You brought a pocket knife to this? I'm like, I didn't even know that was in my pocket up until.
No, and the great part is like, they'll be like, give me your name, like you can come back and get it.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
or like depending on like the situation, they'll be like, yeah, just hang on, just keep it concealed.
No,
Don't keep it concealed. Like,
yeah,
just
don't keep it concealed. Keep it visual at all times.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. So then like I'll like tie it like to the loop of like my jeans
the
or whatever, so it
backpack or
dangles.
something.
Yeah. So they can see it, and then like and that's stuff like that, right? But other than that, like it's one of those things where it's like, you have to obviously like respect the rules and regulations, and have a good time. You know, like it is what it is. But like at the same time, like when they put up that fence, and you stand next to that fence, and this guy walk over. And he wearing a black bag on his back. Yeah. You're like, he packing. Like we all subconsciously acknowledge he packing.
There's always that one guy who pulls up in a truck, you know, and pulls out the black bag, and you're like, that bag's got some stuff in it. I can't wait to see. You know?
No, that's not the reaction we have. No, it's more like the acknowledgement of like, oh, I'm actually safe today.
No, it's like the most secure area. And it's the most unsecure area.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes, like, the signal, like, your phone signal will cut out.
They're, like, jamming.
I don't know if they're
like,
jamming
they're, like, jamming intervals.
Yeah.
In intervals, basically.
Yeah.
So they're like scanning the incoming calls, the
I don't know what's going
calls,
on. Like,
everything.
It's crazy.
Any signal that's going out
or in,
they know about it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Also, like, paying attention, especially at the parliament.
Oh, yeah.
Looking around.
Oh, yeah. All the rooftops.
All the rooftops. Like, and there's some like that you even miss for like a second. You do a count of all the guys on the roof.
Yeah.
And then you look away, you look back up, there's double the amount of the guys, and you're like, where did they come from? And then you look away, and then it looks like there's only 5. I'm like, I swear I just saw 20 of them.
It's like it's very confusing. But
so like you never truly know how many people are there.
I know, right? And it's and it's obviously like to keep an eye on the crowd and
not to mention that they also have like, of course, they also have like undercover people.
Yeah,
and like sometimes you can ID them because they slip up, but that's like, you know,
whatever. It's like, you know, it is what it is. Like obviously, like that's the kind of thing that happens, right? And in those circumstances, I mean, like suddenly overnight, quite literally overnight, there's like there's like an extra 3 million people in the city.
Oh yeah.
So like it's like
because like there's tourists coming from like other parts of Canada,
right?
And then there's people who are
from
like
outside of the country who come as well.
Yeah, who come to Canada for Canada Day,
right? Because it's like a free concert.
Yeah,
because that's what we do. You know, we throw a free concert. You know, and then our prime minister will get up there, say a few words about how great
Drake
Canada
comes
is.
on the screen.
And we'll all, I know, and then we'll all pretend to acknowledge like it is actually in fact the greatest country in the world. And then we'll all move on. Yeah. Like it's one of it's like a fake out every year.
I know, right?
It's like Canada's the greatest country in the world, and we'll be like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? I mean, just rub it in our ego, my guy. Like, let's go on.
It's great.
It's like one of those things. But
it's like that one time Justin Trudeau forgot Alberta, but let's not talk about it.
Oh my god, that's so true.
I'm not calling you out, sir. I'm just saying.
I can't believe that actually happened. Like, I didn't believe it until you showed me the clip.
Yeah, I know.
Like, have you ever seen that?
I'm like, no. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure our dad noticed.
Yeah.
When he was like announcing
like
all
live.
The provinces live. Well, we were there, and then we watched the clip, like rolled the clip, and then you just see him mess up, and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
At the heart of Canada. The guys who are making us all our money.
I mean, like the guys who are supposed to be protecting us right now, and he forgot a whole province. Is this really smart?
It's very confusing. No, but
I'm kidding.
I mean, obviously, like, I mean, in those types of situations, like, obviously, like, mess ups are bound to happen.
Yeah.
And, like, also, like, I love that he suddenly started quoting his father.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is this?
I don't know.
Like,
he's trying to. Okay, listen. No one will ever be like Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Okay,
that man.
He can be a wannabe. Okay,
he's his son.
I don't care. He may have some blood in him. I got blood in me too. Doesn't mean anything.
But it's one of those.
But you know what's more family? You know what's more important? Family.
What? Great.
Whatever you got, family.
That's great. You're not Dominic Toretto, bro. Pull back.
No, I know.
No, it's one of those things where obviously, you know, you I think it's hard to live up to a legacy like that, right? Because Pierre Trudeau, quite literally, he had a very complicated run as a prime minister.
Oh yeah,
because like the issues with his wife and like also the social economic thing that happened, like
the terrorists.
We had terrorists, and then we had, you know, the economy was kind of like you know, also
he had to make hard decisions.
Right. Also, like he changed legislation.
Oh yeah.
Like he moved the country in a direction that like some would say was good and some would say was bad.
Yeah.
But like he removed certain aspects away from like law.
Oh yeah.
He would like, for example, for like
He gave the people constructive freedom. More constructive freedom than there already was.
Exactly, right? So it's more like, this isn't my business, you do you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially when it came to like, for example, there was I think there was a law about I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. Like I just can't remember.
Froze.
Yeah, I my brain broke.
Yeah.
Also, he opened up the border.
Oh yeah.
Like he did that, you know. So he added more people to come into this country, which is an interesting thing, obviously, because thanks to that man, I'm here.
Yeah.
Quite literally, both my parents are immigrants, so I wouldn't be here. But it is one of those things, obviously. But there are certain things that happened in that time that were very challenging. So like, mind you,
yeah,
a lot of criticism.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot of criticism for like certain things and the way he handled certain things. Yeah. Like when he like when the terrorism thing happened and he did martial law and people were like, "Whoa, you can't do it." It's like, watch me. Just watch me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they caught the guys.
Yeah,
like it was one of those things.
Like he had such epic moments. Like, like oh my gosh, I wish I was alive.
Also,
then.
like he was treated like a celebrity among like the people.
Oh yeah. The people loved him.
It was the first time, like it was the first time ever a prime minister was treated like a famous person.
Oh yeah, like he'd show up, it'd be like, oh my gosh, can I get your autograph, my guy? And it'd be like, is that a fake document? You're just trying to get me this.
It was I
mean, like he was genuinely a celebrity amongst the people.
Right. Yeah. And
which is like technically how every world leader should try to portray themselves.
Yeah.
Because like you want to be feared.
Yeah.
Right.
But you also want to be loved.
But you also want to be loved, right?
Yeah.
You want the people to like you.
Right.
And that's kind of what Nayib Bukele has been doing in El Salvador. Go check out what's going on over there.
That man.
That man. Oof. If you don't get the proper story, contact me. If like you find out that he's like, if you find a way to trash talk this guy, come at me.
Come at me.
I'm kidding. Don't come at me.
Yeah. Take a step back.
I'm taking a step back.
But it's very interesting. Like his approach though has been like, I gotta fix the country.
Oh yeah.
And he's treating it like the urgency of the universe.
Oh yeah.
The universe is gonna collapse, and I need to get this done yesterday.
How long was it corrupt for?
Like something like 30 over 40 years.
Yeah.
40 something years.
Yeah. 40. Imagine that.
Like maybe more. I think it's almost like.
Okay. Well, for a substantial amount of decades.
Yeah.
Right. The country was filled with corrupt government.
Yeah.
Filled with gangs. Right. Filled with a bunch of people who were like paid out, officers who were paid out, to do stuff. Not overnight, but like over the lapse of a few months.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's not like he woke up.
That TikTok.
He got elected.
Yeah.
Okay. And he changed everything.
I love his party's name though. New Ideas.
Oh yeah, New Ideas.
That's the greatest thing ever.
What's that? Ideas.
Yeah. But it's like it's one of those things where like you have to, like, man, I really respect him for like the direction he's taking the country.
I mean, like crime has gone so far down.
Oh my!
And like the people who like to complain, are either people who know someone who is corrupt, or they just don't have their full story, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the full story. They only have like a midsection of what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, right? and it's very disheartening, obviously, to hear people criticize him like that, especially considering the fact that like. He is like quite literally right now. I think he is the global leader right now.
Yeah.
That every other global leader needs to be paying attention to.
Oh yeah.
Because he has made, some say like it has been like a level of like he's been a bit too aggressive with certain things he's done. But like, mind you, like this guy's trying to eradicate corruption. And it's not something that we talk about lightly. No. You have to be aggressive.
Yeah. Sometimes also like the fact that if the certain actions that he's taking, if he doesn't take them now, when?
Right. Yeah, that's the other issue.
Like that's the other thing, because people are like, maybe he should like step back. No, because if once you step back, y'all are gonna relax, and it's just gonna happen again.
Right.
So he's
also like the thing that like I love that he'll like give orders via Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Like just casually yo, this guy and he like add him and be like, you need to get this done, and then they'll reply, I'm on it.
All right, guys, I think that's
we gotta wrap up.
That's the episode for this week. Check out Nayib Bukele. an amazing president. Get yourself a good translator. No, I'm kidding. Probably Google can just translate for you. Anyways, this has been the episode of the podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right. Make sure to share with your grandmother, share with your rooster, share with your donkey, share everything else with everybody, as you've seen in the advertisement. I don't know where you're gonna play it next. We never talked about one, but
We did.
We did? Oh yeah, we did. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.